Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this episode today, I've got a great news for international students that are presently studying in Canada. We got this good news from Immigration Minister last week about international students, how many hours they can work in Canada. That's what I'll be dissecting. What is the implication of this? That is what I'll be telling you, because I know some of you have heard about this news, but in this video, I'll be going much deeper by telling you what the implication of this is and how it will affect you. So stay tuned and go on tight. I'll be back. So welcome back to my YouTube channel. I still remain my humble self, MC Benadino. This is Canada Reality, where I dish out content for those that are already in Canada and those that are planning, aspiring to migrate into Canada. If this is your first time on this YouTube channel, please do me the honor, subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit on the notification bell so that anytime I drop a video, you'll be among the first to get it. And if you enjoyed this video, please smash on the likes button and endeavor to also share this video with whoever you feel will benefit from it. If you go to my YouTube channel or my playlist, I've got plethora of videos that can actually benefit you, so you can actually go and serve yourself whatever video you need to see about migrating to Canada. Everywhere. So just like I said in the introduction, that we got this good news from the Liberal government represented by Sean Fraser, Immigration Minister, now that they've lifted the ban on international students. Let me quickly take you back memory lane. In the past, international students are only allowed to work 20 hours while actively studying in Canada, and when they're on break, they can actually do more hours. That is the rule. If you could remember very well, some few years ago, I did a video on an international student, Jagandeep, I think that's his name, that was caught by Canada government doing more than 20 hours. He was a truck driver and he did more than 20 hours, and as a result of that, there was this information that we got that he will probably be deported to India because he violated the rule. So that has always been the rule. International students are only allowed to work 20 hours while actively studying and more hours when they are on break. So the good news that we got from Sean Fraser, Immigration Minister, was that Canada government have lifted this ban and international students can work as many hours as possible. So now you might want to ask me this question now: why did they do that? What actually led to that? This was born out of the fact that Canada government, the Liberal government in power now, they discovered that there's a huge labor shortage presently now in the market. Most of these manufacturers, most of these companies are actually witnessing a huge labor shortage, no thanks to the pandemic and the inflation that we are presently now. So there are so many job vacancies, and there are fewer people to fill in that position. And that was why they thought that, okay, one of the ways they can actually use to fill this void is to allow international students that were initially allowed to work 20 hours to work more hours, 40 hours, as much hours as you want, so that they can actually fill that vacancy, that void, and the Canada economy can actually recover very fast from this pandemic and this inflation that we're presently witnessing. Alright, so let me quickly let you know that this is just a pilot project. So that implies that this is just a project that is meant to commence from November 15th, 2022 this year, and it will run up until 31st December 2023. So this pilot program is not going to run forever. It's just for a period of time. So starting November 15th, in the next month and some days, it will kickstart on November 15th, and it will run all through next year up until December 31st. So by then we will now know if probably they'll be extending it or they'll be terminating it, but that's just the window period for this particular pilot program. So let me quote the Immigration Minister what he said. He said, I don't expect that every international student is going to suddenly start working full-time hours. Fraser said it's going to give them the flexibility to do so, and it's going to help employers to tap into the new pool of labor. Fraser estimated around 500,000 students will be eligible for the program. So based on what the Immigration Minister said, over 500,000 international students will be benefiting from this. And also, it's not everybody that wants to work. Some people, their parents are so buoyant. They have enough money. They don't want to work because there's a lot of money coming from them from back home. So they don't want to work. But for those that want to take advantage of this is actually a good clarion call. Alright, so before I go into the implication, what is the implication of this and how can people benefit from this? In the past, there are some advocacy groups that have always been advocating that government should actually look into this, that the 20 hours is not enough for international students, everything. So now the government has heeded to their call now, and they're now saying that international should do more hours, as much hours as they want to do, just because, I want to tell you of a truth. The reason why government is doing this is not because they love international students, it's not because they heeded to those people's call, it is just because of Canada economy. government is looking at how they can actually make the economy recover very fast, how they can get this labor shortage problem. That's why they felt that international students will be used as a bait to actually help the economy to recover very fast. So I think actually that the government is just doing this just because of Canada economy, and that is just the fact. So now, what is the implication of this? The implication of this is this. I mean, on the positive side, international students will be able to work more hours. I mean, with the inflation rate now, high cost of living, higher rent, accommodation, transportation, and everything on the high rise now, international students will be able to now support themselves now. I mean, with more money, more hours to work, more money, they can actually some pay their tuition fee, pay for other living expenses that they have to pay for. That is on the good side. Now, on the contrary, the implication of this is that now you're now telling me that international students should work more hours. So, pari passu, let's look at their times table in class. So if they have to work more hours while actively studying, then that means their education is probably going to suffer. Don't forget that the primary reason for them to come into Canada is to come and study, right? So that they can get a good job. So in as much as they are now doing more hours now, which they want to, then probably they will be missing classes, they will be missing assignments, and be skipping. I mean, stuff like that will probably happen because that will be the adverse effect of that. And at the end of the day, these schools now, universities, the colleges, they will now start complaining to government that international students, they are not turning up for classes and stuff like that. So just like I said earlier on, right, it's a pilot program that is going to last till next year, December 31st. By then, we'll probably see if the government of the day will still want to extend it, or they will probably scrap it by then. But let's keep our fingers crossed. Because I hope you actually understood this video that I brought for you today. I know you've seen this, heard this news before on social media, you've heard about this news, but I decided to do this video so that I can tell you the implication of this and how you can actually benefit from it. And for those people that are still outside and wants to migrate and wants to come into Canada, another very good way you can benefit from this good news is that implies that, take for instance, if your tuition fee is 20,000 Canadian dollars, and probably before coming to Canada you can actually raise 10,000 or 7,000 as the case is, then there's a big chance that if you pay half of your tuition fee before coming to Canada and your visa is granted, then that means with more working hours, you can actually get the remaining balance of your tuition fee to actually fend for yourself and living expenses, and you do not have to rely on people, your parents, your family back home. You don't have to disturb them because you can work more hours now and you can fend for yourself. I think it's a good news on that part. And for those of you that are outside, start applying to schools in Canada, colleges, universities, whatever program you want to study, because this is a very good leverage I want you to benefit from. So smash on the like button if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not, and please share this video with whoever you feel will benefit from it. Till I come back to you again on this YouTube channel, I still with my humble self, MC Bernardino. I can't wait to see you in Canada very soon.